A gentle sigh, the sound of a distant piano, a faint smell of old paper and lavender. A young woman's voice, soft but with an undercurrent of steely resolve. Honestly, darling, it's just exhausting, isn't it? This perpetual chase for perfection. You'd think, with the family I come from, yes, the whispers follow, the Nepo baby label. How dreadfully tiresome you'd think I'd be accustomed to a certain standard. But somehow, the disappointments just accumulate. They burrow. It's like collecting porcelain dolls, each one chipped, each one a reminder of how things should have been. And this was a particularly egregious fracture. You see, I'd been promised paradise, an escape, an experience, the Anemos Luxury Grand Resort Crete. The name itself a siren song of Grecian breezes and lavish indulgence. The brochures, oh the brochures. Glossy photographs of turquoise waters, cascading bougainvillea, and impeccably dressed people languidly sipping cocktails. Honestly, it felt like a painted dream. My mother always said, never trust a picture, Anya, always look for the flaws. A woman of profound wisdom, my mother, she'd have detested this place. It began, as all tragedies do, with a glimmer of hope. The lobby. Initially, it truly was breathtaking. All marble and soaring ceilings, a deliberate attempt at grandeur. Like entering a palace, but, and this is crucial, a palace built on a foundation of, well, let's just say it wasn't bedrock. It was more like stacked cardboard. The opulence was superficial, a facade. It reminded me of those Soviet-era buildings back home, all imposing from the outside, but crumbling within. They wanted to appear majestic, powerful, but the truth always seeped through the cracks. Don't you just hate when things are trying too hard? It screams insecurity, like someone constantly asking, do you think I am beautiful? But then you step beyond the lobby, and the illusion dissolves. My room, initially lovely. Pretty enough, certainly, but the placement. Oh, the placement, directly above the kitchens. The ceaseless clatter of pots and pans, the greasy aroma of whatever it was they were attempting to call cuisine, it permeated everything. Honestly, one can't even properly contemplate the universe whilst being assaulted by the smell of burnt oil. And forget about opening a window. The air itself seemed thick with discontent. After 3 days of this sonic and olfactory torture, I requested a change. They begrudgingly obliged, as if doing me a monumental favor. You know, it's the attitude that gets me. The implication that I was being unreasonable. The food, darling, the food. It was an insult, an absolute insult. They advertised a luxury dining experience, and what I received was, well, it resembled a school canteen after a particularly brutal lunchtime rush. Chaotic, noisy. And the quality, the sheer lack of quality. The buffet, oh the buffet. It wasn't just that the dishes were bland, although they were. It was the presentation, everything looked tired. Sad even. The jam, my God, the jam. It tasted artificial, like sweetened chemicals masquerading as fruit. The fruit itself was devoid of flavor, pale and lifeless. And the juice. Oh, the orange juice. A watery, insipid concoction that tasted suspiciously like reconstituted concentrate. I mean, honestly, is it so much to ask for a freshly squeezed glass of juice in a 5-star resort? It's the little things, isn't it? The little things that elevate an experience from merely adequate to truly memorable. And don't even get me started on the all-inclusive package. A labyrinth of exclusions. It felt like navigating a minefield. You'd order a simple bottle of water with your meal, and suddenly you were presented with a bill for €3.80. €3.80 for water. It's daylight robbery, darling, pure and simple. It's a way of nickel and dimming you, of making you feel like you're constantly being taken advantage of. And the seafood restaurant, honest.
Lie, I feared for my digestive system. Everything tasted frozen, lacking any semblance of freshness. I believe they offered fish sticks to the children, honestly.
So I'm like investigating these crimes near Anemos Luxury Grand Resort, Crete, you know? And honestly, it's so sad, like. Businesses near Anemos Luxury Grand Resort, Crete are like super tricky, you know? They'll steal your money and you'll be left with nothing. Like this one woman, she lost almost €1,000 in a fake accommodation booking scam. Can you believe that? She was searching for a summer holiday rental and some scammer told her to pay through another website. I mean, who does that? And when she arrived, the accommodation didn't even exist. I'm like, how could you, scammers? That's wrong. I predict she was so upset, like she couldn't even believe it happened to her. She probably felt so stupid, you know? And she must have been so angry, like she just wanted her money back. But of course, the scammer was long gone and she was left with nothing. I mean, what's the point of even having a vacation if you're just gonna get scammed? Anyway, businesses near Anemos Luxury Grand Resort, Crete are like super sneaky too. They'll steal from other stores and then sell the goods at their own storefront. Like, there was this one case where people stole products from various stores and then sold them at a shop called New York Old Diamond Shop. Can you believe that? They even sold them online for higher prices. I mean, who does that? I predict the owners of those stores were like so devastated when they found out. They probably felt so helpless, you know. And the scammers, they must have thought they were so smart, but really, they're just like the worst. I mean, how could you steal from people who are just trying to make a living? That's just wrong. The expectation surrounding a luxury resort is often a bubble of curated experiences. A haven. However, that bubble doesn't exist in isolation. It exists within a place, and in the vicinity of Anemos Luxury Grand Resort, Crete, the businesses that surround it, well, they paint a rather disheartening picture. It's a landscape where the sheen of tourism seems to reveal a rust beneath, a sense of, let's call it opportunistic practicality. It's not a place brimming with welcoming authenticity, rather, it feels like a carefully constructed performance, with a worrying propensity for shortcuts. Across the board, establishments nearby appear to prioritize extracting value from visitors, frequently at the expense of genuine hospitality and quality. It's a shadow land of inflated prices, questionable service, and a general atmosphere of disappointment. Let's start with the largest practical consideration for many holidaymakers' everyday shopping. Malls, spaces designed for convenience, often become the first point of interaction beyond the resort walls. The prevailing impression regarding places like the Mall Athens, a commonly visited destination, is one of systemic frustration. It's a place where the experience seems deliberately engineered to be unpleasant. Reviews consistently point to a simmering undercurrent of disregard, creating a sense that visitors are unwelcome inconveniences rather than valued customers. The very structure of convenience, parking, is weaponized. It's not simply a matter of finding a space, it's navigating a labyrinthine system designed to penalize even brief stops and guarded by staff who, according to accounts, are more inclined toward confrontation than assistance. Imagine a scenario you're attempting a quick errand, perhaps picking up a last-minute item for the boat. 20 minutes. 20 minutes is all it takes, or so you believe. Yet upon your return, you're met with demands for payment, a refusal to accept reasonable explanations, and escalating hostility. A sense of being deliberately trapped, extorted almost. One review described a staff member threatening to call security over a minor playful interaction. A mother trying to allow her children a small moment of light in a rather sterile environment. It's a chilling depiction of a place prioritizing rigid rules over common decency. The kindness you'd expect, especially when traveling with family, simply isn't there. It feels calculating, and the complaints don't stop there. The selection itself seems curated to avoid local brands. A homogenization of retail, selling the same global products you can find anywhere at potentially inflated prices. It's not a shopping destination, it's a carefully positioned trap. This sense of calculated imbalance extends to the wellness sector. The reviews of Beauty Massage Wellness Center are particularly troubling. The consistent reports of unsanitary conditions, aggressive techniques, and blatant price gouging are enough to make anyone reconsider a simple manicure. These aren't isolated incidents, they're patterns. A recurring theme emerges, a promise of relaxation, transforming into a source of anxiety. One story paints a particularly unsettling image of a technician berating a customer, accusing her of racism for daring to question the quality of service. Imagine seeking a moment of pampering and instead being subjected to verbal abuse. The level of disregard is staggering. The frantic energy of trying to save your nails from damage, the fear of infection, the feeling of being utterly exploited, it's a genuinely harrowing prospect. The reports of inconsistent pricing point to a deliberate strategy of deception, preying on tourists who are less familiar with local rates. It's a predatory atmosphere, wrapped in the guise of self-care. The images created when you learn this are ones of poor hygiene and aggressive practices. And then there's the food. That most fundamental of travel experiences the desire for a good meal. This is where the disappointment, in my opinion, reaches its peak. Georgia's Traditional Taverna, despite its promising name and picturesque location, repeatedly receives complaints regarding the quality, authenticity, and service. The traditional aspect seems to be a marketing tactic, a veneer masking a cynical approach to tourism. Tales abound of greasy, poorly prepared food and an actively unwelcoming atmosphere, particularly towards families. It's a place where genuine hospitality feels replaced